Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding Mountain. And today I'm going to talk to you about something that is underestimated in your natural bodybuilding journey. The one thing about natural bodybuilders or people who are pursuing goals in a very goal-oriented sort of way, such as making muscle or getting in shape and stuff, it takes a tremendous amount of motivation, a tremendous amount of discipline, and you have to constantly meet pain, and at some point you become very, let's just say, apathetic to pain, because you're understanding that that's part of the path. Now, we all know that there's such thing as good pain and such thing as bad pain, and all this standing up and talking. So much work. I don't know why I gotta work so hard all the time. Way easier to do sitting. I think I'm gonna sit. Yeah, this looks like the right spot. This is the type of training I like. Lots of muscle mass gains. No joint pain, no problems whatsoever. I think I'm gonna make a program. I'm gonna sell this on my website. The sitting around program. 10 sets of 2 hours. It's high volume sitting. The one thing that I find a lot of people will do, and myself included, I've done this lots of times and continue to do it sometimes, is that you'll meet a negative sort of pain by doing something that you've been doing forever. Like say it's squatting or bench pressing or curling or doing whatever you're doing in the gym, right? You're doing a normal everyday exercise, and then all of a sudden you're experiencing a pain that you never felt before. And no matter how many times you adjust the exercise, you keep on getting the same sensation. So the first thing I want to say to you is that this is normal. This happens. It's almost like there's a wall that you hit with a certain exercise, and there can be many reasons why this is happening. Sometimes it's a muscle spasm that you have in a certain area that's referring pain to that area. Sometimes it's overtraining, that you've just overtrained that area and the ligaments and tendons cannot catch up in the recovery. Sometimes it's nutritional. But there's something else I want to draw attention to as far as a solution, at least temporarily, that may assist you. One thing I found is that if I start to get pain from doing something that I've done forever, but all of a sudden it starts to give me pain, that is an indicator that perhaps something has to change in order to reset the coordination in the area or the proprioception of the muscles, or maybe something needs to be stretched or more flexible than before. It just all of a sudden got tight. Maybe there was some sort of nutritional imbalance, a magnesium deficiency. Maybe I just got cold one day, or maybe the blood sugar dropped. Whatever the reason might be, the reason doesn't matter as much as the fact that you take it as a sign that something at least temporarily has to change in order to recalibrate. So far there's been 5 eagles that have flown over me so far. This is the 5th one. They envy my wingspan. Mountain. Yeah, that's right. You wish you had that. So case in point, say you're experiencing some sort of shoulder pain or chest pain when you're doing bench presses. I've talked about this a lot of times. Sometimes you might want to just concentrate on the top part of the motion. Maybe just doing micro movements. Whatever it is that doesn't hurt, you're going to get more results from than just constantly grinding yourself into dust. We both can agree about that, right? So there's lots of guys that are purists in this path, or we get very, let's just say, attached to a certain success that we've had. So say you've squatted ass to the grass and it's always the perfect thing, and you've gotten big legs from this and whatever. And then one day you go to squat ass to the grass, and then all of a sudden it's nothing but knee pain and back pain or hip pain. Well, now it might be an invitation to switch to some sort of partial rep for a period of time, or maybe just a split squat or something different without the same full range. Now, because you do this, you may be giving certain tissues time to recover, but at the same time you're pumping blood into the area with that partial rep. Sometimes what looks stupid might give you better results than what looks perfect, what looks perfect. So I'm experimenting with this when it comes down to the one-legged squat. A lot of times with the one-legged squat, you might feel called to go down deeper to make sure you stretch out those hips and to make sure the butt gets a good stretch and everything. But we know there are lots of different ways to do a certain exercise. So you might want to have a shallower stance, like your legs are more shallow together, and then bring the knee over the toe a little bit in order to hit the quad more if you wanted to give the hips a bit of a rest. So say you pull the groin, or say you pull the hamstring, or say for some reason you're getting knee pain when you go all the way down, maybe temporarily doing light little pumping motions might be better, especially if you're not getting pain during that movement, right? So the first premise on which you should base most of your training on is only good pain, not the bad pain. If you're getting some sort of bad pain, just calibrate. Do something stupid for a while. Do like really short reps or super lightweight or something like that, and see if that assists with changing the dynamics in the area. And then you may be able to return to the movement again, doing it the way you were before. That is a distinct possibility. It's just that sometimes I've noticed that some muscles, let's just say, get conditioned into a certain program and it's somewhat dysfunctional, and you need to break the structure up, meaning you need to change the way they are stimulated, and then all of a sudden a muscular pain goes away. Now if somebody would just bring me a protein shake, that'd be perfect. What are you looking at? Never saw a guy sit before? Huh? So case in point, when I was playing hockey, a lot of times if I had knee pain before under certain conditions, once I started skating with super partial reps all the time, I was pumping blood into the knees, and I rarely ever had any sort of knee pain because there was a different dynamic of the muscles being activated along with the hip muscles, and also the medialis getting really stimulated and the calves and stuff. So sometimes there are surprising things that happen just from doing a movement in, maybe in a somewhat dysfunctional way. Some guys think just doing bench presses at the top range of the motion is stupid, right? But what if it helps you rehabilitate a certain area? Or on the bottom range? I'm not saying it's top or bottom, but whatever it is that's not giving you joint pain has to be the answer, or at least closer to the answer than just grinding through some sort of dysfunctional sort of pain, right? And inflaming the area up and making it worse than before. So that's all I have to say about that. Don't be afraid to experiment with an actual movement, and if it's causing you pain, don't be afraid to adjust it. And by adjusting it, sometimes that becomes the exact rehabilitation program you need in order to be able to restore yourself to a full range movement again. I'm not saying it works in every single case, but it's definitely a good place to start, and then you can still continue training. That's the great part about it too, and pumping that blood around. Mountain. And if you like this type of information, don't be afraid to sign up on my Patreon page, because I have a podcast up there that is exclusive for Patreon supporters, where I talk at length about lots of stuff like this, and I go into different details of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and also some really crazy weird stories from my past, and also from what's going on in my life right now on YouTube and whatever. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. I'm gonna go for a sit now. Natural Gallant.